Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 4 college basketball games for Sunday, March 5th, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Sunday in college hoops. First up, we go to the American Athletic Conference as Houston takes on Memphis. This one, 12 o'clock Eastern on CBS. Now, we talked about the first meeting between these teams. It was back on February 19th. On the breakdown, we took the Memphis Tigers plus the points, and they covered the number for us in the end, only losing by 8 points on the road. And that was a game where Kendrick Davis was not even in the lineup. So really impressive game there for Memphis in terms of against the spread. But in the second meeting, even with Kendrick Davis back in the lineup, I like Houston in this one. I like the other side, as I do think Houston is playing better basketball. I also think this matchup benefits them a little bit more. You know, as of late, I've seen some things that really concern me with Memphis. Their defense starting to struggle a little bit, and we already know that Memphis, one of the weaker defensive rebounding teams in the country, ranked 314th in defensive rebounding percentage. You got a Houston team that's got one of the best front courts in all of college basketball. They're number 4 in offensive rebounding percentage. They already take care of the ball very well. And in that first meeting with Memphis, Houston still scored 72 points despite shooting 17.6% from 3, 3 of 17 from the perimeter. It's a pretty good three-point shooting team that Houston has. So, even scoring 72 points, it goes to show you Houston's got a three-dimensional offense. This is a team that can score in so many different ways. They get to the free throw line, pretty good free throw shooting team. They've got a great front court, like I mentioned, that can score inside, but they've also got a really good backcourt with talented scorers on the perimeter. So Houston's offense is loaded. I think their defense is even better. We're used to seeing that under Kelvin Sampson. So I think Houston is the real deal, and I like their chances to win this game and cover the number in the end. So give me the Houston Cougars. I'm going to lay the points in a tough road game. Next up, let's go to the Patriot League as American takes on Lafayette in the semifinal round of the Patriot League Conference Tournament. This one, 4 o'clock Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Should be a great game here. You know, I do think Lafayette was a team that was flying under the radar a lot in conference play. They lost their last 4 games of the regular season, but here they are, start the conference season or conference tournament season with a win over Lehigh by 7 points on the road. Now they get a home game here against American. I think Lafayette is the better team, shot quality-wise for sure, fundamentally as well. You know, American had nice 2 wins over Bucknell and Navy in the first 2 rounds of this tournament. One was a home game against Bucknell, the other one on the road against Navy. But I think Navy was overrated all season long in that conference, so I don't really put too much into that victory. I mean, you want to talk about Lafayette losing the last 4 games of the regular season. American dropped their last 6 games of the regular season, and they lost 7 of 8 as well. So, you know, both teams struggled at the end of the regular season. They're doing well in the conference tournament. I think Lafayette is the better team. We're laying a pretty reasonable number here with the Leopards, so I like it. Give me Lafayette. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, we go to the Southland Conference Tournament as McNeese takes on Texas A&M-Commerce. This one's going to be 6 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. Now, neither of these teams had great conference records this season. It was the first year for Texas A&M-Commerce, not only in the Southland, but Division I college hoops. They went 9-9 in conference play, so not too shabby, 13-19 overall. McNeese, on the other end, they played a really tough non-conference schedule. They went 9-22 overall this season, but a disappointing 6-12 in the Southland. You would expect, you know, when you play that tough schedule in the non-conference schedule with Tulane, Baylor, Tennessee, Iowa State, Louisiana, Houston, Southern Miss, most of those games on the road, that it would really prepare you for the Southland, a pretty weak conference overall. But it didn't really do much for McNeese, in my opinion. But, you know, I will say McNeese, although they had a disappointing conference record, they played their best ball at the end of the season, their second half of the Southland schedule, where they took down teams like Southeastern Louisiana, New Orleans, and Incarnate Word, and then they end the regular season with another win over New Orleans at home. I do think McNeese is the better team fundamentally and shot quality-wise. I like the fact that McNeese is a good offensive rebounding team. They can get those second-chance looks, while Texas A&M-Commerce has struggled in the defensive glass and the offensive glass this year. You know, Texas A&M-Commerce, a pretty good shooting team, but I do think their offense is a tad on the overrated side. You know, this is their first conference tournament game in their program's history in the Southland. I do think they struggle. I like McNeese playing that tough schedule, even though it didn't really help them right away in the Southland. I think that helps them in these conference tournament-style games. I'm going to take McNeese in this one. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go on a run here in the conference tournament, but I like their chances to grab the win, at least in the first round. And the final game we're to talk about for Sunday's card of college basketball, it'll be in the Big Ten as Maryland takes on Penn State. This one's going to be 12 o'clock Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Now, both teams playing pretty good basketball as of late. They're both 4-2 in their last 6 games going into the final game of the regular season. But what has me really worried about Penn State, and I've mentioned this a few times on the Bank Shop Breakdown this year, is I think their offenses are just a little bit too one-dimensional, and we saw that in the first meeting between these two teams. It was not too long ago, back on February 11th, where Penn State only scored 68 points. They lost the game by 6 points in the end. They were down by as many as 13. And despite shooting 12 of 26, 46.2% from the perimeter in that game, when you have that good of a three-point night as a team, you got to be able to score more than 68 points, and more times than not, you got to be able to win the game. So for Penn State to have that disappointing night, it was because they didn't get to the free throw line. Maryland had 19 more trips to the free throw line than Penn State did. And, Maryland had more offensive rebounds. They forced more turnovers. Maryland was the better team in that game. If it wasn't for a really good shooting night, Penn State would have lost the game by double digits in the end. So now you play this game, the second meeting. Penn State's a good three-point shooting team, but you just can't expect 46% from a team, and game after game. It's just not something. Penn State's a top 10 team from three. They're only shooting 39% this season. So, Penn State's offense just too one-dimensional. I think Maryland is the better team overall. A good rebounding team that gets to the free throw line, an experienced team. I don't think they're going to be intimidated playing on the road in this game. This is a big game for seeding for Maryland. I think they get the job done and earn a big, true road win in their last game of the regular season. So give me Maryland. I like their chances to win and cover the number. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.